Why do such large parts of the United States seem almost deserted in 2025? Picture states filled with rolling hills, stunning mountains, or endless open plains and barely a soul in sight. What's going on? Is it all about the economy, wild weather, or is there something even stranger happening? In this video, we're diving into the 9 most empty states in America, finding out why people are moving out, and why these places are so challenging to live in. Stick around, some of the reasons are honestly pretty surprising. And wait until you find out which state comes in at number 1. Any guesses? Let's kick things off with the first state, Alaska. Imagine a place so huge that you could fit Texas inside it twice. Now, think about fewer people living there than in Columbus, Ohio. Alaska is the largest state in the U.S., and lots of people imagine it as a wild, untouched landless wilderness, mountains that go on forever, and animals you won't see anywhere else. But actually living there is a whole different experience, and that's a big reason Alaska stays so empty. Only about 740,000 people live across more than 663,000 square miles. That's basically just one person per square mile. Seriously, it's empty. Alaska's beauty is incredible, but life here can be seriously tough. The weather alone scares a lot of people away. Winters are brutal, with temperatures dropping below minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 34 degrees Celsius in many areas. Go farther north and it's even worse sometimes. It's as cold as minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 51 degrees Celsius. And sunlight. Forget about anything normal. Some places spend a whole day in darkness during winter, then switch to 22 hours of daylight in summer. That can really mess with your schedule, your sleep, even your mental health. Alaska can also feel really isolated from the rest of the country. There aren't many roads, so if you need to go somewhere, you'll probably end up flying. Groceries, gas, and even basic necessities prices climb fast because shipping everything in is so expensive. Housing isn't exactly cheap either. The median home price is around $325,000, and heating costs, they're sky high, since winter never seems to end. Then there's the economy. Alaska depends a lot on oil, and that makes things feel pretty unstable. In recent years, that instability has started to hit home for more and more people. The oil industry in Alaska has run into some tough times recently. Budget cuts, fewer jobs, things like that. Even so, the average household brings in about $75,000 a year, which sounds impressive compared to the rest of the U.S., but here's the thing. Everything costs more up there, so that higher income doesn't always go as far as you'd expect. Life isn't easy, but Alaska has a way of rewarding people who are ready for the challenge. You get the Northern Lights Wrangell St. Elias, the largest national park in America, and the chance to see glaciers, mountains, and wild places that haven't changed much in hundreds of years. Honestly, the winters are long, the price is steep, and the isolation is real. For most folks, it's a place to visit, not really somewhere to settle down. Next is Wyoming. People rave about the endless skies and wild scenery, and if you love the outdoors, it's kind of a dream come true. But actually living there is a whole different deal. With just over 580,000 people in 2025, Wyoming is the least populated state in the country, only about 6 people per square mile. It feels empty because, well, it is. The economy relies heavily on coal, oil, and natural gas. When those industries take a hit, the entire state feels it. Jobs vanish quickly, and outside of energy and farming, there aren't many other options. The median household income is around $64,000. Even in Cheyenne, the largest city, you won't find the same variety of jobs, businesses, or culture you'd see in a bigger place. Getting around Wyoming isn't simple either. Public transportation is almost non-existent. If you don't have a car, you're basically stuck. Some people love the open solitude, but for others, it just feels isolated. Winters are harsh, temperatures can drop below zero, snow piles up about 50 inches a year, and driving conditions can get downright dangerous. When summer finally arrives, the heat can reach over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but most homes and businesses don't even have air conditioning. It's gorgeous, sure, but it's definitely not for everyone. Montana, known as Big Sky Country, is another state that's huge, but mostly empty. It's the fourth largest state, but only about 1.15 million people live there in 2025. That's fewer people than one big city, spread across an area as big as Germany. So why does Montana seem so empty? The economy is centered on agriculture, tourism, and mining fields that don't exactly attract crowds of young professionals. Winters are severe, with temperatures sometimes dropping below -20 degrees Fahrenheit in places like Havre. Snowstorms can shut things down for weeks. And when summer comes, wildfires burn across thousands of acres. Plus, about 1,800 grizzly bears roam the state, so hiking without bear spray isn't the best idea. Getting a good job in Montana can be difficult. The average household income is around $60,000, which is below the national average. And unless you're in Billings or Missoula, there isn't much room for career advancement. Homes are pretty affordable. The median price is about $360,000, but with the rural lifestyle, you'll probably have to deal with spotty cell service and slow internet. Still, if you're an outdoor enthusiast, it's a paradise. Glacier and Yellowstone National Parks attract millions of tourists every year, all seeking those clear lakes and rugged mountains. But living here, that's a serious commitment, and most people are content to just visit. Then there's North Dakota. You could stand in the middle of the road for miles and not see another car there. Just aren't that many people. With a population of 780,000 in 2025, it's among the least populated states. The wide-open prairies, tough winters, and lack of big cities keep most folks from ever calling it home. The vast prairies of North Dakota may seem tranquil, but life out here is anything but simple. Winters are brutal, really brutal. Temperatures can plunge to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, -34 degrees Celsius, and blizzards can be so severe that everything shuts down for days. Even Fargo, the largest city, feels more like a small town, with under 130,000 residents. Compared to most places, that's tiny. The economy is powered by agriculture, endless stretches of wheat and sunflowers, and the oil fields of the Bakken have added some jobs. But oil is unpredictable, and when prices drop, the whole state feels it. Homes are affordable, with the median price around $260,000. But cheap housing doesn't make up for the lack of things to do. There are less than 1,000 restaurants statewide. For comparison, New York City has over 25,000. If you crave solitude, open skies, and peaceful nights, North Dakota could be perfect. For most people, though, it just feels empty. Still, the air is clean, crime is low, and the small towns are as friendly as you'll find anywhere. But the harsh weather and limited opportunities mean most people visit, not stay. Heading south, South Dakota isn't much more crowded. Only about 910,000 people live here, spread over 77,000 square miles. That works out to just 11 people per square mile. Compare that to New Jersey's 1,200. The weather makes life challenging. Winters often dip below -10 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 grados bajo cero, with heavy snow and icy roads. Summers bring heat, thunderstorms, hail as big as golf balls, and around 36 tornadoes every year. Farming is a way of life, but it's a tough one with all this wild weather. The economy leans on agriculture, tourism, and mining. Mount Rushmore and the Badlands draw millions of tourists. But beyond those, jobs can be hard to find. The median household income is about $63,000, which is less than the national average. Many young people leave to look for better opportunities. Homes are affordable, with a median price of about $280,000. But rural living means unreliable high-speed internet and not much nightlife. South Dakota's main attraction is its natural beauty. The Black Hills and endless prairies are breathtaking, and outdoor activities are everywhere. But honestly, for most people, the isolation and rough climate outweigh the scenery. It's a wonderful place to visit, but not somewhere most people want to stay long-term. Now, let's look at Vermont. Famous for maple syrup, fall foliage, and quaint small towns, Vermont's population has barely changed in years. In 2025, it's home to only about 650,000 people, making it one of the least populated states in America. Despite its charm, Vermont struggles to attract and keep new residents. The economy has a lot to do with it. Most jobs come from agriculture, small businesses, and tourism. Vermont's dairy farms produce an impressive 63% of New England's milk, but profits are shrinking and it's hard to find workers. Tourism booms during the fall and ski season, but it's not enough to prevent people from moving away. Year-round work is scarce in Vermont, so many residents bounce between seasonal jobs. Most households bring in around $65,000 a year, but that doesn't stretch far with Vermont's steep cost of living. And then there's the climate. Winters are long, harsh, and freezing temperatures regularly drop below zero, sometimes far below. Snowstorms can dump several feet at once, and rural roads quickly become hazardous. If you don't own a reliable vehicle, getting around is tough, especially with limited public transportation. Housing isn't much easier. The median home price is about $370,000, and strict zoning plus a tight housing market make it hard to put down roots. Vermont boasts natural beauty and close-knit communities, but many young people end up feeling isolated. Even in Burlington, the largest city, there are only about 45,000 residents. If you're looking for the energy and diversity of a bigger city, Vermont might leave you feeling restless. Still, Vermont has its positives. It's one of the safest states, prioritizes sustainability, and has an impressive farm-to-table food culture. But for a lot of people, the quiet rural lifestyle just isn't enough to make Vermont a permanent home. Now, consider Maine. Stunning coastlines, iconic lighthouses, and plenty of lobster sounds perfect in photos. But living here is different. With just over 1.3 million people spread across 35,380 square miles, Maine can feel empty, especially outside the cities. The economy depends on agriculture, mostly potatoes, tourism, and seafood. Lobster fishing brings in over 4 million pounds each year, but the state faces a big issue. Young people are moving away in search of better job opportunities in larger cities. Median household income is about $60,000, which doesn't go far with the area's high living costs and limited job market. Winters are no joke, over 70 inches of snowfall each year, and temperatures often stay below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That means high heating costs, expensive snow removal, and long stretches when storms make travel impossible. Many homes are deep in the woods, hard to access without the right car or in an emergency. Real estate isn't cheap either, with the median home costing about $320,000, especially near the shoreline. Maine's natural scenery is amazing: hiking, skiing, Acadia National Park, but most people just visit. With fewer young residents and a reliance on seasonal tourism, it's tough for Maine to remain a place people want to call home. Some appreciate the peace and quiet, but for many, the harsh winters and shaky job scene make it a difficult place to settle down long term. Nebraska is known for endless cornfields and cattle ranches, but agriculture isn't the whole story. The state has a population challenge. About 1.9 million people are spread across 77,000 square miles, leaving a lot of empty space, vast stretches of land, long highways, and not much else. If you like wide open plains, you might feel comfortable, but for most, it gets lonely. Nebraska's weather is unpredictable. Winters can fall to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, with freezing winds sweeping over the plains. Tornadoes are a reality, showing up 14 to 20 times each year. Nebraska faces its share of tornadoes every year. Summers, they can be harsh, -90 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, is pretty normal. When drought hits, raising corn and wheat gets even riskier. Nebraska's economy is driven by agriculture, livestock, and energy. These sectors pay decently, but they don't offer much job variety. In Lincoln, you might find work in education or healthcare, but overall, job options are pretty slim. The typical household income is about $65,000, and houses usually cost around $300,000. Still, with so much rural farm-based work, it's hard to find a job if you're not into farming, construction, or energy. With fewer people living here, there's not much in the way of entertainment or nightlife. College football is huge. The University of Nebraska Cornhuskers are a big draw, but if you want big city excitement or cultural attractions, Nebraska falls short. 3. A lot of people move away to larger cities, looking for better jobs or a more vibrant lifestyle. Nebraska is peaceful, affordable, and safe, but its tough job market and extreme weather make it a tough choice for many. If you love open spaces and agriculture, it's beautiful, but for a lot of folks, that's not enough to stay. Now, take New Hampshire. The natural scenery is stunning: mountains, lakes, forests everywhere, but living here isn't always as easy as it looks. With just around 1.4 million people in 2025, it's one of the least populated states, even though it covers more than 9,000 square miles. There's no shortage of outdoor beauty, but daily life can be a challenge. One big thing that keeps people from moving to New Hampshire is the cost of living. There's no sales or income tax, which sounds great, but property taxes are high, and the average home costs $400,000, well above the national average. Utilities and healthcare also cost more, so living here can get expensive quickly, even without a state income tax. Job options are also limited. The economy relies on manufacturing, tech, and tourism, but there isn't much diversity. Median household income is about $77,000, not bad. But lots of people have trouble finding jobs that really fit their skills or goals. Young adults especially tend to leave, heading to places like Boston or New York for better jobs and higher pay. And there's the weather. Winters are long and tough. Temperatures often drop below zero, and more than 70 inches of snow can fall in a year. Many houses are out in the middle of nowhere, so traveling during snowstorms isn't easy. The high elevation means summers are short and temperatures can swing a lot. Still, if you can handle it, New Hampshire has its perks. Schools are good, crime is low, and healthcare is excellent. Small towns have a strong sense of community. For many, the beautiful scenery and safe neighborhoods make New Hampshire a great place to visit. But making it your home year-round takes some determination.